The night was thick with an eerie stillness as Kane set out on his solitary journey down the desolate highway. The full moon cast long shadows that danced on the edges of the road, creating an otherworldly atmosphere. Kane's hands tightened on the steering wheel as he navigated the winding path that seemed to lead nowhere. He had decided to take a night drive to clear his mind, seeking solace in the solitude of the open road. The only company he had was the low hum of the engine and the occasional rustling of leaves in the wind. As Kane delved deeper into the darkness, he couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Miles passed like haunting whispers in the cold wind, and Kane's nerves became increasingly frayed. The road seemed to stretch on endlessly, each turn leading him further into the unknown. Unease settled in his stomach like a heavy stone, and he couldn't shake the feeling that he was not alone. A flicker of movement caught his eye in the rearview mirror. Kane's heart skipped a beat as he glimpsed a shadowy figure in the back seat. He squinted, but the figure vanished, leaving him questioning his own sanity. Shaking his head, he attributed it to fatigue and pressed on, hoping to put the strange encounter behind him. As the night deepened, the road became more treacherous, winding through dense woods. Kane's headlights cut through the darkness, revealing twisted branches that reached out like skeletal fingers. He couldn't shake the feeling that the forest itself was closing in around him. Suddenly, the engine sputtered, and the headlights flickered before going out entirely. Panic set in as Kane coasted to a stop in the inky blackness. He fumbled for his phone, only to find that there was no signal. Alone in the oppressive silence, he felt a cold sweat break out on his forehead. Kane took a deep breath, his mind racing with possibilities. With a sense of urgency, he stepped out of the car into the chilling night air, hoping to identify the source of the mechanical failure. As he popped the hood, the distant howl of a wolf echoed through the trees, sending shivers down his spine. The engine compartment revealed nothing obvious, and Kane realized he was stranded in the heart of the ominous forest. He decided to venture on foot, hoping to find help, or at least a sign of civilization. The dense woods seemed to close in on him, creating an oppressive atmosphere that weighed heavily on his shoulders. As Kane walked along the narrow path, he couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. His footsteps echoed in the silence, and every rustle of leaves made him jump. The moon cast long shadows that seemed to dance and contort, playing tricks on his frayed nerves. Hours passed, and Kane's sense of time became distorted. He stumbled upon an old, dilapidated house partially hidden behind overgrown vegetation. Relieved, he approached cautiously, hoping to find someone who could assist him. The creaking door swung open with a haunting groan, revealing an interior shrouded in darkness. His footsteps echoed through the eerie silence as he explored the abandoned dwelling. Dust-covered furniture and cobweb-laden corners spoke of a place forgotten by time. As Kane ventured further, he discovered a decaying staircase leading down to a dimly lit basement. A hesitant chill ran down his spine as he descended into the unknown. The air grew colder, and the dim light revealed disturbing sights: old photographs, weathered furniture, and a collection of worn-out children's toys. It was as if the basement held the forgotten memories of a bygone era. Just as Kane contemplated leaving, he heard a distant sound, a low, guttural whisper that sent shivers down his spine. His name echoed through the darkness, uttered in a voice that seemed to carry the weight of the past. Kane's heart raced as he realized that he was not alone in the depths of the abandoned house. Kane's breath caught in his throat as he strained to identify the origin of the haunting whisper. The air seemed to thicken with an unsettling energy, and the shadows in the basement appeared to twist and contort. The disembodied voice continued to call his name, each utterance more chilling than the last. Driven by a mix of fear and curiosity, Kane followed the sound through the winding corridors of the basement. The flickering light played tricks on his senses, casting strange shapes that seemed to move in the periphery of his vision. The oppressive atmosphere intensified with each step, making it increasingly difficult to discern reality from the tricks his mind was playing on him. As he turned a corner, the voice abruptly ceased. The basement fell into an eerie silence, broken only by the distant howls of the wind outside. Kane felt a cold draft, and the temperature plummeted. His surroundings took on a surreal quality, as if the very walls were closing in on him. Suddenly, he found himself in a small, dimly lit room. At its center stood a dusty old mirror that seemed out of place amid the forgotten relics. Kane's reflection stared back at him, but there was something unsettling about the image. The eyes in the mirror glowed with an otherworldly intensity, and a sense of dread washed over him. In a hushed whisper, the voice returned, now emanating from the mirror itself. It spoke of a long-forgotten tragedy, a tale of lost souls trapped in the limbo between the living and the dead. Kane listened, captivated and horrified, as the voice recounted a story of betrayal, despair, and a curse that bound the spirits to the decaying house. The room seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy as the narrative unfolded. Kane, realizing the gravity of the situation, questioned the entity in the mirror about his role in this spectral drama. The voice responded cryptically, hinting that only he could break the curse and release the trapped souls. With a sinking feeling, Kane understood that he had unwittingly become entangled in a supernatural web. The choice before him was clear: succumb to the darkness that lurked in the shadows, or confront the malevolent forces that held the spirits captive. As he steeled himself to face the unknown, the room echoed with the anguished wails of the trapped souls. The mirror seemed to ripple, and the boundaries between the living and the dead blurred. The chilling climax awaited, and Kane stood at the precipice of a nightmarish revelation. The night was draped in an inky blackness as Carl stood on the dimly lit platform, waiting for the train that would take him on a journey through the haunting silence of the countryside. The air was thick with a sense of foreboding, yet curiosity drove him forward. He clutched his ticket in hand, the destination marked only by an enigmatic code. The train arrived with a hiss of steam and screech of brakes, its windows reflecting the ghostly glow of the station's flickering lights. As Carl stepped aboard, he couldn't shake the feeling that the train itself was sentient, as if it had a secret to share. The compartment he entered seemed ordinary, but shadows danced mysteriously on the edges of his perception. Settling into his seat, Carl felt a chill run down his spine as the train departed, cutting through the stillness of the night. The rhythmic clatter of wheels on the tracks echoed like a macabre heartbeat. He was not alone. The compartment held an eclectic mix of passengers, each wrapped in their own cocoon of silence. As the train hurtled through the darkness, the landscape outside transformed into a spectral panorama. Trees whispered secrets, and distant hills concealed enigmatic figures. Carl's fellow passengers appeared as mere silhouettes, their faces obscured by the dim glow of the compartment's feeble lights. An unsettling sensation settled in Carl's chest, a blend of excitement and unease. As he stared out into the abyss beyond the window, a fleeting image appeared, a shadowy figure standing on the edge of the tracks. The train's momentum made it impossible to discern more, leaving Carl to wonder if it was a trick of the night or something more sinister. The journey had only just begun, and already the train ride felt like a descent into a realm where reality and nightmare converged. The hours passed like phantoms in the night, and the train's journey seemed to transcend the mere physical realm. Carl's fellow passengers remained inscrutable, lost in their own thoughts or perhaps trapped in the silent pact of shared secrecy. The train, now enveloped in an eerie stillness, echoed with a sense of impending revelation. As Carl walked through the narrow corridors, he noticed subtle anomalies. The walls seemed to pulse with a dim glow, and the air crackled with suppressed energy. The train, once a mere vessel, now felt like a living entity, a malevolent force guiding its passengers towards an unknown destiny. In the dining car, Carl encountered a mysterious woman, her eyes reflecting the haunted depths of the night. She spoke in cryptic riddles, hinting at a hidden truth woven into the fabric of the journey. "Beware the illusions that dance outside the window," she whispered, sending shivers down Carl's spine. The landscape outside had transformed into a surreal dreamscape, with twisted trees casting elongated shadows and the moon casting an ethereal glow. Carl's reflection in the window seemed distorted, a mere specter of his former self. The train was no longer a means of transportation. It was a vessel hurtling through a realm where reality blurred with the macabre. As Carl returned to his compartment, he found a cryptic note slipped under his seat. "The journey reveals what the daylight conceals," it read. The words seemed to carry a weighty significance, a warning or an invitation to unravel the mysteries hidden within the train's metallic veins. The train's rhythmic clatter grew louder, merging with a haunting melody that seemed to emanate from the very heart of the locomotive. Shadows danced on the compartment walls, assuming grotesque forms that whispered tales of forgotten nightmares. Carl's heartbeat quickened, for he sensed that the climax of this nocturnal odyssey was drawing near. The night was pregnant with the unknown, and as the train hurtled through the abyss, Carl could not escape the feeling that he was on the brink of discovering a truth that transcended the boundaries of reason. A truth that awaited, like a spectral specter, at the journey's ominous end. The train's momentum carried it deeper into the heart of the night, and Carl's restlessness grew with each passing mile. He found himself drawn to the rear of the train, where an enigmatic door beckoned like a portal to another dimension. As he approached, the air became charged with an otherworldly energy, and the door creaked open with an eerie reluctance. Beyond the threshold lay a realm that defied the laws of physics. The train's interior extended into a surreal expanse, a labyrinth of corridors that twisted and turned like the convoluted paths of a nightmare. Carl ventured further, guided by an unseen force that pulsed through the very walls of the train. The passengers he encountered were now mere phantoms, their faces obscured by a featureless darkness. They moved in a spectral dance, whispering indistinct secrets that echoed through the disorienting labyrinth. The train itself seemed to be alive, its metal veins pulsating with an arcane energy that resonated with Carl's every step. As he delved deeper, the oppressive silence gave way to a cacophony of disjointed voices, a chorus of lost souls trapped in the liminal space between reality and illusion. Faces appeared and vanished like ghostly apparitions, their eyes reflecting the same haunted depths that the mysterious woman in the dining car possessed. The train's destination, still shrouded in an enigmatic code, remained elusive. Carl felt a compulsion to unravel the mystery, a sense of urgency that transcended the fear that gripped his heart. Each corridor led to another, each turn a step further into the abyss. Finally, he reached the heart of the train, an ethereal chamber bathed in an otherworldly glow. The walls seemed to pulsate with the memories of all who had traversed this spectral journey before. In the center stood a figure, draped in shadows, its features concealed in the penumbra of half-light. The figure spoke in a voice that reverberated through Carl's very soul. "You sought the truth, Carl, and now you shall bear witness to the revelations that lie beyond the veil of ordinary perception." As the figure's words echoed, the train's interior transformed into a panorama of forgotten moments, long-lost loves, shattered dreams, and the echoes of lives left incomplete. Carl felt the weight of collective sorrow, an amalgamation of every passenger's unspoken burdens. The train's destination was not a physical place, but a metaphysical realm, a juncture where the past, present, and future converged in a timeless dance. Carl realized that he was not merely a passenger but a participant in a cosmic drama, his journey an allegory for the human experience. In the climax of this spectral ballet, the figure unveiled the ultimate truth. The train was a vessel of catharsis, a conduit for souls seeking resolution. Each passenger carried a fragment of their own narrative, and the train's journey served as a metaphysical crucible where they could confront their inner demons and find solace in the arms of the night. As the revelations unfolded, the train's relentless clatter began to fade, replaced by a melodic hum that resonated with the collective heartbeat of all who had embarked on this enigmatic voyage. Carl, now enlightened, felt a profound sense of peace as the train traversed the final miles of its nocturnal odyssey. The first light of dawn painted the horizon as the train gradually slowed to a halt. The once spectral landscape outside the window transformed into a serene tableau. Carl stepped off the train, his heart lightened by the weight of understanding. The platform, bathed in the soft glow of morning, seemed like a threshold between two worlds. As the train pulled away, disappearing into the daylight, Carl marveled at the duality of the night, a realm of shadows that concealed the deepest truths and a realm of light that embraced the revelations born from the darkness. And so, Carl stood on the platform, forever changed by a night that transcended the boundaries of the ordinary, a night that would forever haunt his memories as a journey into the depths of the human soul.